Hi guys, and almost welcome back to Football Manager 2018 here with Rangers. As you can see, it is still the 27th of May here. It is the day that we lost the Champions League final to Man United. Since it has been almost 2 months now actually, since we've had an episode of the Rangers series here on the channel, I just wanted to go back, do a season in review for the season that's just passed, with of course the Champions League final being the final game there. It's been a little longer than I'd hoped to be. If you've watched the Ajax series through, you'll know I've been having a little bit quite busy with work at the moment and stuff, you know, going for promotion, things like that. So a little bit busy actually in real life and not uploading as much as I would have hoped to, even with that Ajax series. And the Rangers series, to be honest, I was kind of bust when we lost to Man United, even though try to keep an upbeat outlook on it, and the fact that the boys did so well to actually get to the final, it kind of bust me that we didn't manage to win it. So it's been a little bit longer than I'd hoped in coming back for the Rangers series, but it is going to be picking up again. I'll tell you exactly when. This is being released, this video, on Thursday. Actually, same day I'm filming it on Thursday as well. And we're going to be releasing episode 1 of season 7 on Monday. So Monday, this coming Monday, is going to be when we get our first episode of the Rangers series, and they're going to be coming out thick and fast, at least one episode a day over the next 2 weeks or so. Some days we'll be getting 2 episodes a day as well, because I'm actually taking a little bit of time off work. About 2 weeks or so I'll be off, so I'll be absolutely hammering out these videos during that period to try and make up for some lost time. But without further ado, let's dive in here and review our season. Lots of big scores. As you can see, just quickly go through the Fender matches. Scored 2 against Salzburg, we scored 5 against Brøndby, we hit St Gallen for 8, 11 against Bishop Stortford. We played Brøndby again actually in real competition Champions League, 6-0 away from home, 3-0 at home. We beat Dynamo Kiev 6-1 at home, kicked off our Premier League season against Ayr 6-1. Won 1-0 against Dynamo Kiev, 6-2 over Falkirk, 6-1 over Spartak, 7-1 over Dundee. We were just steamrolling teams. Took on Spartak away 1-0, 6-1 away at Tynecastle, and then we played the first Old Firm game, and we actually got stung by Celtic here. If we actually jump into the game and take a little look at the match stats, 19 shots for us, 16 for them. We got 6 on target, they got 5, so it was a really even away game, but we ended up losing. Goals from Kevin Strootman and 2 for Lee Griffiths actually put us under the cosh in the league title race, despite the fact we'd been steamrolling teams. But we bounced right back. Champions League group stage, 5-0 over Zenit. We beat Hamilton 5-0, 4-1 over Ross County, 9-0 was our first otherworldly score against St Johnstone. Then we beat Valencia 6-0 at Ibrox, 4-2 over Hibs before that game against Falkirk, when we tried to play some of the rotational players. I mean, if you look at the 11 here, Robbie McCrory, Sebastian Young, Stefano Denswell and Murray Wallace, more senior players. Dimitri Mitchell, Christian Paez, Ivanildo Fernandez with a 4.6, which really signalled the end of his Rangers career. Tim Gallagher, the only real good standout player today, with an 8.6. Barjonas 6.8, 6.7 Mabudi. Lewis Davidson did score and got a 6.9. Houston 6.7, 6.6 Fassi, 7.3 Molina. And that was the game where really we realised it wasn't quite time to rotate. And it actually put us in a bad run of form. Even though we returned to a first team lineup playing likes of Horta and Manuel Riedel, we only managed a 1-1 up at Tannadice against Dundee United. We then lost 3-2, Andrea Bellotti doing the damage for Monaco as we lost away to them. We then lost 6-3 at Rugby Park, Ryan Caddis getting a hat-trick against us, Kevin Shurtleff scoring the goals there as well. So not a good one for us at all that day. Jordan Houston with a 6.1, as we began to kind of wonder if he maybe didn't have the quality it took to be a main player here. We're holding on to him perhaps for sentimental reasons, but then as you can see, we get ourselves in gear. 3-0 over Partick. The 1-0 at home to Monaco was a big result. Chiacherry got us off to a flyer, then nothing else happened in the game actually. Ayr United we beat 4-0, beat Dundee only, the 1-0 there, but clean sheets were now in abundance. And then we got our second otherworldly score, 11-0 over Zenit St Petersburg at home. Alberto Chiacherry achieving the elusive 10 rating with 4 goals in that game. Absolute perfect to bounce back fully from that weird patch of games. Then we beat Hearts 2-0, Morelos scoring those games. But then another weird one, 3-2 against Hamilton. Now we were 2-0 down as we went into half time. We levelled it up at 2 apiece. We kept pushing for the win, but unfortunately Andy Murdoch's 94th minute goal really stung, and that bided us. We were 3-2 losers there. But as you can see, after that we go on another huge tear, 3-0 over Valencia. We finally actually won an Old Firm game by a big dominating margin with a 4-1 victory over Celtic. Morelos getting 2, Mabudi and Walter Molina also in on the act for 1 apiece. Then we beat St Johnstone 5-1, 3-0 over Dundee United, 5-1 over Falkirk, avenging the cup loss. Denswell, Morelos, Chiacherry, Horta and Mabudi all in on that act. That was against Falkirk. Then we beat Kilmarnock 6-0, avenging our 6-3 loss to them. Mabudi hat-trick, Davidson and Chiacherry brace. 3-2 away at Easter Road against Hibs. 4-0 over Partick. 1-0 in the cup away at Easter Road against Hibs. We beat Ayr 2-1, which was a bit tighter than I thought it would be, but we nonetheless went and did the business there. 6-1 away at Falkirk, where we had lost in the cup. That marked the end of January there, with that January 29th victory over Falkirk. We'll really look at the transfers now for what happened in this season. We'd signed Rodrigo Fassi, Christian Perez in the summer. Yannis Horn actually turned up in January there. He's only played 2 games for us so far because he had that unfortunate rule where he's played for 2 clubs already in the year and we couldn't really use him. So we're actually looking in the season ahead to see more from him. He's played 2 games, as I say, starting in the league, and he got 7.1 from those games. So hopefully see him in the future. In January, we also brought in Trent Alexander-Arnold for just under 20 million from Liverpool. He has had 17 starts in all competitions with a 7.66 average. Crazy rating. An excellent signing for us so far. We also brought in Bilal Coaster on the 30th of January. He's had 11 starts, 2 off the bench, 7.51 average, and looks like he's going to develop into some player. So that's all the incomings. We sold Bednarchik in the summer. Zach Rudden as well went to St Johnstone. He's had quite a good season out there. 43 starts, 19 goals and 5 assists. Very good for the young man if you ask me. Conor Moore had a season on loan at Partick and he will be coming back to feature this season. Only 18 years of age and already with some freakish stats. 33 starts in all competitions for Partick. Milanese also went to Ross County. He's down in the Championship now. Did well actually. 35 starts, 2 goals and assists, 2 Man of the Match awards and a 6.83. A player who's been with us for many, many seasons actually now, but just never really made the grade. We got rid of Ollie Cook. Daniel Podence went down to Brentford with 11 starts, 9 starts in the Premier League, 6.71, so he's not done that great, but we did okay to get a 3.5 million fee for him. John McGinn went out to Hertha Berlin. 8.25 was too much to turn down. 31 Bundesliga games, 6.88 average. Not bad for a Scottish lad playing in the Bundesliga there for John McGinn. We also sold Leandro Letiri to Roma. He has had 23 starts, 14 goals and 7 assists. 15 of those starts in Serie A with 6 goals. So he's done pretty well for himself now. But that fee, 27.5 million was way too much to turn down. Liam Henderson, we somehow got 14 million quid out of Leicester for him. He's had 17 starts, but most of them at a reserve level. He's only started 4 Premier League games and has not made much of an impression, it must be said, down at Leicester. So he did very well to get 14 million for him. Danilo Cataldi has went to Wolves for 6.75. Very good player, but it was just time for him to go with all the Argentinians coming into that midfield there. 33 starts in the Championship, 6.8 average. Not bad player, must be said. Ivanildo Fernandez, we somehow got 875 grand as he went to Rennes, but the big departure was Andre Horta going for 40 million to Leipzig and then almost immediately breaking his leg. It's harsh. He made 3 Bundesliga starts, 6.97 average rate, and he's a great player. He's on 145k, so fair play to the boy getting that wage. But yeah, as I say, broke his leg almost as soon as he left us. That's pretty much it. Everybody else really out on loan. We made £102 million and spent 45 million. So that was the transfer dealings, and we went into the second half of the season with Yannis Horn sort of added to the squad, Trent Alexander-Arnold fully added to the squad, and Bilal Coaster as well fully added to the squad. So as we go into February here, we had Dundee. We beat them 7-0. Molina, Morelos and Chiacherry. Morelos and Chiacherry both with hat-tricks there. We get a weird 1-1 away at Tynecastle. Put Falkirk out at the Scottish Cup as revenge for them putting us out of the League Cup. We then had Leipzig away from home, and Achraf, who I think was on loan from Real Madrid. I know he's actually been signed from Real Madrid, fair enough. He got the goal as we went out to Leipzig and went down 1-0. We then came back, beat Hamilton 4-1, but lost 5-2 against Celtic. We had the sending off of Trent Alexander-Arnold after 81 minutes as well. Celtic scored 2 goals after that. It was, 3-2, but they made it look a lot more comfortable with some late goals. Yeah, it was 2-2 actually right up until the 77th minute. Stuart Armstrong makes it 3-2, then Alexander-Arnold gets sent off, and they make it look more emphatic with a 5-2 win. We bounce back though to beat Motherwell 6-0. Mabudi, Gallagher, Graham, Burjonas all getting in on the act, and then Leipzig come to town. We score one with Murray Wallace early doors. Chiacheri gets sent off. We think it's going to be a tough game. If, of course, Leipzig scored one, we would have needed 2, but they don't manage to score at all, and somehow with 10 men, Rodrigo Fassi in the 87th minute gets the second, sends us through to face Chelsea. We then beat St Johnstone, Dundee United, Hibs and Partick with ever-increasing emphatic results, 6-0 over Partick just before we go to the Bridge. We lose 2-1 down at the Bridge. Ricardo Orsolini gets Chelsea off to a flyer at 1-0. Morelos, though, makes it 1 apiece. And later on in the 70th minute, Morata manages to get a goal, which makes it 2-1 to Chelsea. If we look at the stats, they had 24 shots to our 10, so they were firmly in control of that game, and we did well actually to get out of there with the 2-1 loss. We then bounce back, we go to Rugby Park, 4-0 over Killie before we play Chelsea, and we somehow beat Chelsea 6-0. And one of their heroes in the first leg, Ricardo Orsolini, gets sent off just after the hour mark. There's goals from Mabudi, 2 for Paez, 2 for Morelos and 1 for Marcel Edelman as we smash Chelsea. We then go to Hampden, take on Celtic, 4-0, smash them as well. And the emergence of young Brian Lassley, also a key point of this season. I mean, look at that boy already. 16 years of age. He's already had 16 starts in all competitions, and he is going to be an absolute monster of a player. Needs to improve that jumping, which is only 8, but other than that, monster. This, I don't understand how 3-star potential, possibly 4. Nah. Don't see that at all. You look at that, he should have 5 stars. He's only 16 years of age, and he's an absolute beast already. So we beat Celtic, as I say. We drew with Partick, but we were rotating again. We were playing Alex Donald. We were back to McCrory, Mitchell, Coaster was in there, Graham as well. So they did well-ish to get a draw there. We beat Monaco 4-2 at home, but we knew we were going over there, and we had lost over there previously in the group stage. So we beat them 4-2, beat Hibs 4-3. We went over there and lost 2-1, but we did go through 5-4 on aggregate. We were behind really early, Lucas Torreira. But Brian Lassley, the young man again, got us a goal. Talisca made it a nervy finish, but we did hold on, and we managed to beat them in that game. We then beat Celtic 5-1 at Ibrox, beat Falkirk 2-1, beat Dundee United 5-1, won the Scottish Cup final 4-2 over Aberdeen, before suffering a disappointing reverse of that scoreline in the final against Manchester United. We were down to 10 men at the end there, which made it obviously harder. Marcel Edelman getting sent off. United pretty much dominated the game, to be fair to them. 20 shots to our 6. We had only 4 on target. If we'd scored every shot on target, it would have been still really tight. But if you look at the timing of the goals, actually, it was 1-0 to Man United through Andre Silva after the hour mark, but 61 minutes, Rodrigo Fassi gets us right back into it. Morelos actually had missed a penalty previously in 41 minutes, which could have given us the lead. Isco then scores, and it goes downhill after that. Isco scores in the 65th, and the 66th, Edelman gets his marching orders. Gelson Martins makes it 3-1. Alberto Chiacheri gets us back in it at 3-2, but unfortunately, going gung-ho, we get caught out by Andre Silva, who makes it 4-2, and Man United win the Champions League. Overall, harsh way to end the season, but getting to a Champions League final, absolutely crazy. We win the Scottish Cup and the league double. Not quite managed the treble yet. Hopefully that will come, of course, for his next season. We do have just over 40 million and 150 grand to play with in the transfer budget. Looking at the team here, it is a nice, well-balanced team. There's possibly a couple of players that we could get in some positions. So, for example, Fassi and Paez have backup really from Burjonas and somewhat Alexander-Arnold, but we could use another central midfielder in there. Ian Fulton and Robbie McCrory being the goalkeepers. Maybe we could use a world-class keeper in there. At centre-back, we're pretty well stocked. We've got Denswell, Riedel, Lassley, Coaster all in there. Murray Wallace as well. Horn can also play. Right wing-back, we've got Byram and Alexander-Arnold. Left wing-back, we have Edelman and Yanis Horn. Alexander-Arnold can also cover, as can Mitchell. Up top, we have Chiacheri, Morelos, Mabudi, Graham, Gallagher, Davidson, Molina. So we've got hundreds of strikers. A couple of players I think will be leaving us due to expiring contracts. Let me take a look. Yeah, Akram Afif, Andy Gilmore possibly. Do we want to keep him? Nah, I think we just let him go. Mitchell as well. Sebastian Young probably let him go. Finlayson will let him go. Ramsey. Oh, actually, it's only Gilmore and Afif that will be running out now. Next summer there's a couple more running out that we'll probably let go. Connor Moore will want to tie up as we get into the season. But that's going to be it for our little season preview / review. As I say, on Monday it will be episode 1. Any transfer suggestions? Obviously, anybody you're going to be suggesting now, we're going to have to be quite young when we start the game. We are going into season 7 now. We could possibly take a look at some of those guys if you want to see how they've developed as well. Or just a position if you think we need to strengthen something. Maybe you've been watching the season, you've seen, you can see a lot of goals through the middle of the park maybe, or whatever. So maybe you could use some stronger midfielders, or Ian Fulton, let's give up on this romance of having a great young goalkeeper come through. He's 21 now and he's been the same since he's been 16. That's something that I do worry about. I mean, reflexes here, they were 14.4 5 years ago and they're now 14.8. Is he showing really enough improvement going forward? Don't know. But anyway, as I say, that's going to do it for this. Monday there will be episode 1 of season 7, so I hope to see you guys for that. Hope you've enjoyed our little review of the season here, bringing back some memories for myself actually, and I'm dying to get into this on Monday. But listen, hope you guys have enjoyed it. Drop down below, leave a wee like if you're excited for the coming season, and I'll see you then.